Hello guys, welcome to Math Vantage. So in this lesson we are going to talk about the power set. What is a power set? A power set is the set of all the possible subsets of that set including the empty set, right? And also we have to know that a power set usually is denoted by p a or 2a, 2 to the power of a, right? And then we can also write it in this format. The power set is equals to raises x such that x is the subset of a. So whenever we call this whole thing, we call it's all x set of x such that x must be a subset of a. That's how we call it. So this is what you have to know about the power set so far. So let's do the examples. Find the power set. Okay, write down the power set. Write down the power set of the following examples. Example 1, we have a is equals to a b. Example 2, we have set p is equals to a and b, right? Then 3, we have c is equals to a, b and c, right? So now let's find the solutions of those examples. The example 1, write down the power set of the following example, which is the set of a. It has only one element. So the answer is going to be, we're going to write p into a, which shows that it represents a power set. Therefore, the first thing that you write, or the first element, or the first subset that you write, it's going to be what? It's going to be an empty set. Always, whenever you're going to write a power set, the first thing or the first element that you write is the empty set. Therefore, after we have what? We have a, therefore we have to open braces, which includes a, and then we have to close it. That's it. So this, it tells us that how many subsets we have. So you can see that we have two subsets here. So how can we prove it? Let's use this formula, 2 to the power of a. What does a represent? A represents the number of the elements in the subset, in the set. So a represents what? The number of elements, in a set. That's what a represents. So here we have only, it's gonna be 2a, whereby 2 is to what is a. We can see that the only element that we have is 1. So meaning our answer is going to be 2. Meaning we're going to have 2 subsets. That's how we find how many subsets do we have. So you can also count them. It's an empty set and also a. It shows that we have 2. Let's go to the second example. The second example, we have set B, which contains A and B, right? So the first thing that we write is P into B is equals to, then like I said, open the braces, and the first thing that you write, or the first subset that you write, is a what? It's an empty set. We're going to write an empty set. Therefore, we're going to write these values. Each it's going to be A, then we close the braces, then it's going to be B, then we close the braces. As we are done writing A and B, now we're going to write both of them, which is A and B. And then we have to close our braces. So that's how it is. And if we can count how many subsets do we have here, it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. How can we prove it? We are going to use that formula 2 to the power of A, which is equals to 2. How many number of elements do we have here? We can see that we have 1 and 2, which is 2 to the power of 2, which is going to give us 4, meaning we are correct. So now let's do the last example, which is example 3. I'm just going to erase some few things here because of the space. Okay, now we can continue with the example 3. So in example 3, we have C, which is equals to A, B, and C, right? So how can we write the power set of this set? It's going to be P to C, which is equals to, the first subset that you write is a what? It's an empty set, always. Then we're going to write them individually. It's going to be A, then we close the braces, then it's gonna be B, then we close the braces, then it's gonna be C, then we close the braces. And then after, as we are done with A, B, and C, now we have to write them like, we have to group each element into 2 groups, right? It means we can start with A, B. We're gonna have A and B, then we close it, then we're gonna have B and C, B and C, then we close it, then we're gonna have A and C. I hope you guys can see it. Gonna have A and C, then we close it. But then we are not done. We are left with what? With grouping all those elements. Therefore, the last one is gonna be A, B, and C. Then we close the braces. That's it. So how many subsets do we have here? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Meaning we have 8 subsets. Let's prove it. We're gonna use that formula 2 is to A is equals to 2. How many the number of elements do we have in the set? It's 3. Therefore it's going to be 3. 2 to the power of 3 is equals to 8. So that's how we do it. That's how we deal with the power set. So let me give you 2 examples that you can try to do them. So let me just erase here. Okay guys, now we have 2 examples, which is set A is equals to the braces A and B, right? So how can we find the power set of set A? Okay, solutions for number 1, which A is equals to A into the braces, therefore it's B. So therefore the solution is going to be P to A, we know that. Then the first subset that we write is a what? We know that it has to be an empty set. Therefore we're going to write each element separately. Therefore we're going to have A, then we close. Then the second one, you can see that we have braces here, right? So meaning we have to open our braces and then write this thing the way it is. Therefore it's P, right? Therefore we have to close our braces, right? Then after as we wrote A and B, now we have to combine them. It's going to be, we're going to open our braces and then put this brace here, Therefore, it's going to be A into B. Therefore, we have to close the braces. That's how we do it. So that is the first example. So how many subsets do we have here? It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right. How can we prove it? We know that we're going to use that formula 2 is to be 2 to the power of A. 2, we know that what is A, right? A, it represents the number of elements in the set. How many elements do we have? It's 1, 2. We have only 2. Therefore, it's going to give us 4. So you can see that we are correct. The second one, which B is equals to 1 and the empty set. You still do the same thing. You don't have to change anything. Just follow the same procedure. So it's going to be B is equals to the first subset that you write is what? It's an empty set. Then after we open a braces, therefore it's going to be 1. Close it. Therefore it's going to be the empty set. Then we close it. Then we write both of them, which is 1 and the empty set. Therefore we close the braces. That's how we write it. So how many subset do we have here? It's 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? How can we prove it? We know that it's going to be 2 to the power of A is equals to 2. How many number of elements do we have? Is 2, therefore it's going to give us 4. So therefore that's it for the today's lesson about the power set. If you find this video useful, kindly like and subscribe. Thank you.